bilateral meeting also. After that, we have seen the statement of President Jinping and Prime Minister Modi. How you are tracing these statements and this bilateral meeting in context of the Shanghai Cooperation Association?
Well, I think if you look back on the relationship between India and China, I would like to say that at one time the relationship was going well because we had peace and tranquility along the border because of various agreements between India and China. And because of that, we were able to go ahead with the trade relationship, economic cooperation, people to people, cultural, civilizational. There is a lot of progress in those areas. But then after 2020, when the Galwan incident took place, I think that was a big break in the trust factor between India and China, because I think China, by the action they took in Galwan, they have broken the trust. They have broken peace and tranquility at the border, because they came in with all those very strange looking weapons and attacking our soldiers, and they lost a lot of people. We lost soldiers, they were martyred there. And after that there's been a complete break in the trust factor. Now, over time, there is talk now to resume that. And last year, in October 24, Prime Minister Modi and President Xi Jinping met in Kazan during the BRIC summit in Kazan in Russia. And they agreed to have some kind of disengagement at the border. Now, if and after that, of course, we've seen that Foreign Minister Wang Yi was in India and he met Mr. Ajit Doval, NSA, because both of them are special representatives on the border issue. And he also had a meeting with External Affairs Minister. Now, in that meeting, again, I think it was made very clear to visiting Foreign Minister Wang Yi that the peace and tranquility at the border is important. Without that, no other aspect of the relationship can progress. So I think in our Prime Minister's statement today morning, in the meeting with President Xi Jinping, he also mentioned this about that the disengagement will lead to peace at the border. So, what is the detail of those disengagement? Has it taken place? Is it going to take place? We don't have many details yet, but I think that if indeed the disengagement process is agreed and is successful, then I think it is a good sign. Then certainly other aspects of the relationship can develop. For example, we know that the Kailash Mansarovar Yatra has started. We know that a flight schedule between India and China may start very soon. Chinese can come to India on tourist visas, which was stopped. Now that may resume very soon. When Foreign Minister Wang Yi was here, he promised that supply of rare earth, supply of tunnel boring machines, supply of urea will start. We don't know whether it has started or not. It has to start. So I think that in that context, the meeting between our two leaders in Tianjin is very important, significant, and it has the capacity to lead to great further progress in the bilateral sector. But again, we have to remember that for us, peace and tranquility at the border is very important. So there has to be concrete steps, concrete decision, concrete agreement on that peace and tranquility at the border. We had mentioned it also when Mr. Wang Yi came here. In Beijing, judging from all the reports, from the discussions I've been having with some of the people there, the focus is on economic trade, people to people. But where is the decision on peace and tranquility at the border? So I think this is the most important aspect. And if indeed the disengagement details have been worked out, then that's good. But let's see. And I think the second aspect, which for me is very important in the relationship between India and China, we all know that China was helping Pakistan during Operation Sindoor. They were giving them satellite imagery and all that. So I think that there has to be some commitment on that, that this is not something that China should be doing. And also, I think that there was some word out of Beijing, President Xi Jinping solves all the problems, Armenia, Azerbaijan, all this was being mentioned there. So I think that this whole business, I think President Xi Jinping needs to realize that between India and Pakistan, at least for us, it is absolutely vital to understand that we do not accept any third-party mediation. And if at all, China is going to start saying the same thing that President Trump has been saying, that I can mediate between Pakistan and India, then that will be a real problem. So on these aspects, which this is an important red line for India. And when our Prime Minister spoke today morning in the meeting with President Xi Jinping, he said this. He said that there has to be mutual trust. mutual respect, and mutual sensitivity. So China has to accept and recognize India's sensitivity on the Pakistan issue, on the border issue, and then certainly we can move ahead.
From Tenjin, have the dragon and elephant must be to come together. So, what does this statement mean that this elephant and dragon relationship? We have seen a recent event in New Delhi also. It was post SEO meet. The ambassador, Chinese ambassador to India, was there. He also said about the same statement and China and India relationship, the dragon and elephant strategy, ma'am.
Yes, well, of course, India is referred to as the elephant and China is referred to as the dragon. And, the Chinese media has been full of this, that the elephant and the dragon must dance. I mean, dance means that you have good friendship, only then you dance together, right? But again, I would say that India is fully prepared for having a good relationship with China, for working on trade and other aspects. But the red lines are very important. So it is not that the elephant and the dragon must dance, which is what the Chinese are saying. I think that the elephant and the dragon can dance, they can improve their relationship if these sensitivities are recognized and accepted by China. And there must be visible decision, agreement, visible progress on these elements. That is very important. So I don't know whether what is the final position on this, but we will get more news, I think, from China. There was some talk there might be a second meeting between President Xi Jinping and Prime Minister Modi. Let us see what happens on that. We're waiting to hear.
A lot of buzz was also about the and Russia, ma'am. And tracing back and looking back at prior SEO meets, and how do you see this SEO summit as an important, crucial forum to break this ice? And it can be a icebreaker in between India and China, India and Russia also. And what possible outcomes do you see from this meeting from Tenjin, ma'am?
Well, the SEO has been an important meeting. India has been a full member for some time now, since 2017. And the thing is that the SEO has on its agenda three critical aspects, the three pillars of SEO. One is on security, counterterrorism, no separatism, no extremism, no radicalization, all the whole defense and security issues. Then second is trade and economic cooperation. Third is people to people and culture and so on. So certainly for us all the issues are important, but we do think that at the moment we would like to see definite progress on this question of counterterrorism. And we hope that in the document of the SCO, the joint statement, that there will be recognition of this issue of counterterrorism, and that India's point of view on that is appropriately reflected. That is very important. That is there. I think what you said about Russia, India, China, again, I think Russia has a greater understanding of India's sensitivities, particularly as regards Pakistan and other issues. So, well, I hope they're able to prevail upon China, and make them understand as well. I do not know whether there will be a trilateral meeting, Russia, India, China. It used to happen earlier, but then BRICS was formed, and that's how this was. The RIC meetings were not continued after that. They used to take place earlier. And now, whether there will be that much understanding between Russia and India and China, let's see what happens with the bilateral meetings and the second bilateral meeting, whether this will happen. Let us see.
The time in going Russia-Ukraine war. So when these three leaders are sitting together and having a meeting, ma'am, what possible discussions can be there, like Russia and Ukraine war? Because we have seen a phone call from President Zelensky to Prime Minister Modi to discuss about the Russia-Ukraine war. So when Prime Minister Modi and President Putin will be meeting, then there must be a key issue of that Russia-Ukraine war and the U.S. tariff as well, because the baseline which was used for imposing of 25% tariff, and it was increased to 50%, was a purchase of Russian oils and the Russia-Ukraine war factor. So how do you see all these, and from the perspective of SU summit?
Well, For India, we believe in strategic autonomy. We believe in multi-alignment, multipolarity. So we don't see any direct link between Trump's tariffs and the situation with India-US relations and India-Russia or India-China or India-Japan.
Because he's saying so, na, ki
Yeah,
we are
yeah,
imposing this
that's right.
tariff, that's
Yeah, so we are working on all these relationships individually, separately, whether India, Japan, India, even our relationship with SCO, a relationship with BRICS, we're working on it separately. But you're right that the influence does come in. For example, when Foreign Minister Wang Yi was in Delhi, he spoke about the tariffs and said, "Oh, America is bullying India, and this should not happen. Unilateral should not happen, and so on." So obviously, those influences are there. And also, right now, today, the news is very amazing that America is putting 25% surplus penalty tariff on India for buying oil from Russia, but oil and other products, petrol. But today, India is also the largest supplier of diesel to Zelensky, to Ukraine. So it's India who is supplying diesel to Ukraine. So it just shows that those tariffs have no basis whatsoever, and that person who is, I think, considered to be the trade advisor of President Trump, he's saying, "Oh, India is fueling the Russia-Ukraine war." It's absolutely unacceptable. We have said quite clearly that the tariffs are unfair, unreasonable, and unjustified. I think we are right on that. So that is on its own way. But we are continuing, what we are going to do is that all the Indian exporters affected by the tariffs, they're going to get support from the government. We're looking for other markets. We have a foreign trade agreement with UK now, and the trade is going to double. The objective is to double the trade. So a lot of the material that was going to USA can go now to UK. So other markets are there. We're looking for a trade agreement with the European Union. So all that is there. And so I think that India is going to work on it, but we're not going to accept this kind of surplus tariff and so on. We're not going to be cowed down by that. And India has shown that. India is prepared to not have any FTA with America if these tariffs are in play. So I think that that is on its own merit. And here, of course, we are seeing through SCO, bilaterally or multilaterally, where the trade can go up with any of the countries. So bilateral meetings are there with the leaders. These summits, these multilateral meetings provide a great occasion for bilateral summits also. So that is already happening in Tianjin. So all these things are to be kept into account. So while there is no direct link as such, but certainly India is on the lookout for increasing our exports, for manufacturing more in India. Make in India. We saw in the Japan visit of our Prime Minister, which was very successful, $68 billion more of investment has been promised from Japan. And Japan and India are going to jointly manufacture a very key component for the naval vessels, communication antenna and all that. Unicorn, it's called. So all these are very important decisions. And these are all happening on their own. So I think Quad or no Quad, the India-Japan relationship is on a very, very good wicket, a very good trajectory of development.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
giving me time to
Thank you.